Feel the most vulnerable when somebody asks me a question. Usually I'm the one asking questions, and so when I have to answer them, I always have this quick millisecond of and then I jump in.
All right.
Fucking whirlwind.
I know, seriously. This stuff stresses. Oh, our guest is arriving, which is perfect. So,
well, yes, we were gonna do a quick intro. So we were trying to figure out our storage on our cards for our cameras, and like, look, we're creatives.
yeah, the storage shit is so annoying.
We do our best.
It's okay. She's looking for parking.
But we had like a bajillion cards, and we weren't cleaning them after we were filming, so we're like putting them into the computer and having to like audit what we've uploaded and what we haven't. You know, the hardest, most frustrating part too is also that when you upload to like Google Drive,
Yeah.
it takes forever and often fails.
Yeah.
So then I have to like audit it again.
Yeah. It's a pain. It's a huge pain. Like you see a podcast and you're like, you don't know. Ty, please, our guest is about to arrive. So you don't know how much work goes into putting a podcast together. And a lot of it has to do with this woman over here who's dealing with all the BS.
Well,
the BTS stuff is really annoying.
Yeah.
It is really annoying. Like, I don't even know. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, Melinda, you've taken on a lot of the responsibility, and I really appreciate you for
Well,
it.
and we've had different people coming in and helping and like doing that, and it's just new this week.
Yeah.
Because like I wasn't unexpected.
Ties and gosh.
Okay, let's let her in.
guest?
I know. Should we just jump straight in?
Yeah, let's just jump. Oh, she's
We're gonna
so
jump straight into this
cute.
episode.
You're so cute with the flowers.
I mean, you're married. I feel like you need flowers.
Thank you.
Pink or yellow?
Whichever you like. Which one's meant for me?
No, whichever one. You're the one that's married.
You tell me which one reaches out to you more. Which one are you like? This
So
is
I know
what
you're like a pink girl, but I actually felt like yellow.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. This is
I
Mark.
have dog duty though, so quick hi, and I'm gonna make sure the gates are all shut.
And this
nice
is
to meet you.
Melinda.
So good to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you.
I feel like I know you because of Instagram.
Oh my
Here, these
gosh.
are for you.
You are so.
She's so cute.
To do that. You
Yes,
sweet
I did.
angel.
I felt awful
No.
about our reschedule, and I'm so grateful. And thank you. For being
Thank
so
you.
flexible.
Thank you.
You're so sweet.
I know. I love this.
Thank you.
Of course. Are the cameras on?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's rolling. Tell
Everything's
us.
rolling. We like to be raw and real and just start everything.
Yeah, I do this every day, but we go to a podcast studio.
Okay.
And then for my podcast that I do alone, I set everything up like you guys.
So you understand the pain. That's how I was like,
Oh, yeah.
she'll know even if we screw things up.
Yeah.
She'll
Do
you
know.
film in
If you want, I can
person?
help set it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not virtually.
I do both.
You do both.
Yeah.
How do you
I
do
like to do the
virtually?
I just do it
Tips.
over Riverside.
Riverside, I've heard.
we heard
yeah.
about Riverside.
Yeah, I like Riverside. I was using Zoom, which I think is easier because it like uses less memory.
But is the quality not as good?
It's not
Yeah.
Because that's always the issue. I did a podcast on Zoom, and like it's just so fuzzy.
Yeah, it's also I think I don't know if you guys feel this way, but being in person, I like can feel people's energy
Yeah.
more.
So
and
much more.
I feel like it's a better conversation usually.
So do you do a mix for your podcast, or do you? Gotcha.
Yeah, because like there are like experts around the country, even around the world. I got to interview a professor in Tel Aviv the other day. Like there are really amazing experts all over, and I don't want to miss out on those conversations.
Yes, that's where I'm kind of at mentally too.
Yeah.
Like I have a few brand founders and artists that live in New York City, and they love the podcast, and they're like, I would love to come on, but the scheduling is so tough.
Well, I
Yeah.
wonder if you guys could take it on the road. I do that.
We
sometimes.
want to.
Yeah, I do like a New York shoot, and I'll stay for 3 days and just like shoot back to back.
Yeah, that's smart. And do you travel with your setup?
No, so I have like video and audio people in LA and video and audio people in New York.
Amazing.
Smart.
You can find people anywhere. You can find them in Miami.
True.
Yeah, true.
There's like talented people all over, and you have like international friends.
That's why I was saying we can definitely do this in Hong Kong and India. It's just a lot to take out so much time to do it.
Oh, yeah.
For her to come all the way as well. So we're planning to.
At some point.
But how cool to like go to India or go to these countries with somebody who like knows what they're doing.
Yes, I know
My
it's the
dream.
best way to travel and like see places and experiences things is with a local or someone who's like lived there. I agree.
I saw her Instagram. I was like, I'm dying to come to India with you.
Come. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
You've never been to India?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. That should be a place on your bucket list because it's so crazy. It's so different. It's, yeah.
The
It's you
culture
can't
seems
explain
so
it.
Rich. I'm just
It really
I'm
is.
dying to go.
It really is.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like a little quick
course.
intro?
Yeah. I have been a lover of questions since I was like a very, very little girl. Now that I'm older, I always say questions are my love language. But I've been curious since I can remember. Like I grew up in Chicago and I would be talking to my mom and her friends. And like at 3 or 4 years old, I didn't want to go play. I would go sit on her feet and ask her friends questions like the adults, you know?
That's so cute.
And so I think that just like grew into a career. So I ended up being a poli-sci major in college at Wisconsin. I did local news.
Wow.
And I fell in love with it. I was like truly, as soon as I got into that local news station, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do with my life.
I love that.
But the internet was coming up. So I graduated from school and booked a one-way ticket to LA. Lived in a garage, didn't know a single person.
Oh my gosh.
So inspiring.
And, 10, 11 years later, here we are.
What was that journey like though? Like living
hard.
Yeah, I know. I cried when you told me the story. So I want you to tell it like that. Like tell me every little detail.
Okay, I don't want to bore you.
No, never.
Well, I moved to LA and I always say I didn't know a single person and I didn't have a clue and I didn't understand how entertainment worked and I really had very little money. I think I had like $8,000, which in LA pays for like a bunch of parking tickets and a few dinners.
Yeah.
And when you move to LA, you get so many parking tickets.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The
Same.
street signs are like, you need a law degree to read the street signs.
Or towed.
Yes.
Like
Oh, I got
literally.
towed.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my God. I don't drive, so I don't know, but wow.
I've been towed like twice or three times.
What? Then what do you do in a towing situation? You
You
just
have to like find they usually have like a sign or something and you have to call the number and find where they towed it to and then you go and you have to pay usually like 300, 500 somewhere around there.
Oh my gosh.
So annoying.
Horrible. Yeah. And
Really
you just feel so
horrible.
sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
Totally. So yeah, I started sending emails to people and no one would reply to me. And so I sent out some bamboo plants and some like cookies from these websites with a little note that said, hey, like nice to meet you. I'm really eager and willing to work hard and do anything. Like, do you have any openings? I'm even willing to work for free. And then these people would email me back and be like, we don't have any openings. Nice to meet you. And thanks for the cookies. Have a good day.
Oh my gosh.
But at least they replied, you know?
Yeah,
So
I
now
mean, they
had-
better when you put yourself out there to that extent and like give in that way. I feel like it's decent. And I know they probably get a lot of outreach, but for someone to go above and beyond like that.
Yes, I think so. I think like, I don't know. Now that I'm in like a different position 10 or 11 years later, I'm like, okay, if somebody went out of their way to connect with me, of course I would reply.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of them did. And then I had their emails. So I was working on red carpets for free, like just trying to put a reel together, which in my business is like a resume basically. And I would send updates like every few months. And then all of a sudden one day, one of these outlets called me and out of the blue on my cell phone and said, hey, Danielle, our host is sick. Can you meet at the Paley Center at 5:30?
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, absolutely.
Blessing,
I drove
yes.
home. Oh my God, yeah. Drove home, got dressed, did my makeup, got to the Paley Center and was like, oh my God, like this was like my first really big carpet. And everybody that I had admired growing up was there. Like Juliana Rancic was on like the front of the carpet. And it was my first time like seeing all the people that I had admired. And I felt like so nervous.
I bet.
It was, first of all, the worst dressed person there. I didn't know how to do my makeup.
Oh,
But
I don't
I
believe
didn't-
that. Look at you.
Yeah, your makeup's
Like even if
gorgeous.
you came
Thank
with
you
no
so
makeup,
much.
you would look flawless.
You're super kind, but
That's the truth.
I didn't grow up like caring about that stuff as much.
Sure.
I had to learn and actually
I
like
mean, gosh, what a blessing in a way to not grow up caring about that stuff.
it really was.
Yeah.
It was a gift. Like I cared about everything else. I cared about
And then
school
make the
and
choice
sports
to
and-
do it.
Yeah,
that's
But
healthy.
I
I
had
think.
to learn. I really was a choice because I moved to LA and like people here really know what's up.
Yeah.
And I was like studying magazines
Oh my
and taking
gosh, yeah.
lessons from makeup artists and like now I feel better like knowing knowing more. I like it, and it's like fun for me. I think it's such a creative outlet.
Such a part of the scene too. Like the beauty industry just exploded, and it's hard to be in any space without the Ty is like
Yeah,
really
I know.
going
That's what I was
off.
saying. Can you? Yeah. No, just you can take him outside. He just will
Oh,
stop
thank you,
barking. I
Mark.
feel bad.
Ty baby
Sorry,
is
I
barking
know.
out there. I'm like, I just don't know how much it'll pick up on the mics. And
I know,
be distracting
I know.
for people.
That's
You
how
have the good mics though.
yeah.
They are good. We upgraded.
He's just gonna come kiss you.
Okay.
The dog. He's cute. Are you scared of dogs?
No.
No. I feel like you're a dog person.
I don't know. I didn't grow
Or-
up with them.
Oh,
Yeah,
you did
I
I
it.
don't
Me
know
neither.
dogs a lot, but I'm not scared of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel
Did
like
you grow up with dogs?
Not really. No.
No.
But I love dogs.
Yeah.
I love animals in general. Like
Yeah.
she has like 3 cats.
cats.
You have 3 cats.
I have 3 cats.
Oh my god, I have to see a photo. I love
Oh my
cats.
gosh,
They're
I
so
have 3
cute.
cats and I live between 2 states. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Nashville and LA.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a bit nuts, but we make
Wait,
it work.
Tell me.
My fiance has a record label, and we moved it out there like 3 years ago. Yeah, and it's really good for his label. He's killing it. The experience of living out there is lovely, and it's giving me a lot of perspective. It's just hectic.
Yeah.
You know, it's
The
like it's a
flying's a lot.
privilege and it's hectic. People are like, "Oh, that sounds so fun," and it can be at times, but it's also disorienting. And then like you leave your community here and go somewhere else, and like it feels like a restart every time in a weird way. But we're adapting to it. I think we're getting more
Yeah.
comfortable.
How long have you built community there, would you say?
I have. I was hesitant at first because my community here is so big that I was feeling overwhelmed. Like becoming a beauty director, I've been a beauty director for like 3.5 years now, and it's just you become a public persona, and all of a sudden everyone gravitates to you. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
And especially when you have a Sephora Beauty Director title. And I don't mean that. I hope that doesn't come off as conceited or anything like that. It's just kind of part
just
of the
reality
business.
Of it, yeah.
Yeah, once you get a title like that. And it's been amazing because I love the network and I love meeting people, but it was overwhelming for a little bit and trying to navigate like, who am I supposed to prioritize? What relationships, it's you build different kinds of relationships. You build professional relationships that they don't require the nurturing personal ones do. And I was just figuring that out. So I was hesitant at first, but now I have a little community out there of women that I love, and it's nice just to grab dinner or something. But I really do shut down more when I'm out there
Yeah.
because here it's like go,
Yeah.
back to back, especially because we spend more time in Nashville than we do here.
Yeah.
So it's tough in that sense.
Does he
but-
come back with you?
Yes, yeah, we do move together. So right now we're here for like 2 months, and then we'll go back to Nashville together. But we'll see. We keep like trying different things and different setups and different timing to see like
Yeah.
what feels more comfortable. This year we were moving back and forth more often, and that's becoming unrealistic because the cats, it's just too much stress moving with them. So
Yeah.
figuring it out.
Wow, you guys got a lot going on.
Yeah, I know. I'm always like, I guess if we lived in one place, this would be a lot more chill.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you travel so much too.
It's so
Like
hard.
crazy.
Yeah, I gained so much weight this year from traveling.
Oh,
And
no.
I don't mean that in like
No,
a
yeah,
deprecating
yeah.
way.
But
It's
it's
just like
like-
it's so
It's hard to stay healthy.
It's really
Oh my
exhausting.
god,
Yeah.
it's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like looking at people who traveled for work and being like, that is so cool. Like I'm dying to
Exactly.
be in a position. I was like praying
Me too.
to be in a position.
Yeah.
And then you do it for like a year or two and you're
It's
like,
lonely.
oh, this is a lot.
Yeah.
It's lonely, it's disorienting, it's hard to have a routine, which is really
Yeah.
good for your mental health.
Yeah, it's
I
hard
was-
to work out on the road.
Yes. I was the same way. And like Sephora sent me, when I was on our social media team before I became a beauty director, they sent me to London for Fashion Week and like filming Pat McGrath backstage at Victoria Beckham's, like it was like my dream.
Yes.
And I was there and I was like, this is my dream and yet it doesn't feel right.
Oh wow, that's
Like-
a disorienting moment.
Yeah, but it was good because I realized that's not what I wanted. I'm a much more, I'm with you, like
Yeah.
it's challenging.
Yeah.
But, I still travel quite a bit for work, and it sounds like you do too. It's just not the job isn't to travel. You know what I mean? Travel is a part of the job.
Totally.
And that's more comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a lot of empathy for consultants.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's
Yeah.
literally hopping from one person, also one energy to another. And that's
Yes,
also
totally.
Oh my
exhausting.
God, my flight attendant friends. I have multiple flight
Yeah.
attendant friends, and I'm just like, how do you do this job?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yes, I
You
don't
have to love
either.
aviation in a different way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
So
just not
true.
how I feel.
One of my best friends is a flight attendant, and she married a captain, and they just had a baby. And I'm like,
Aw.
yes.
I thought you were gonna say she married a passenger, and I was like, that's like I am always.
That's really
wondering if
cute.
Someone
yeah,
meets somebody.
I'm sure it happens.
Yeah.
so cute.
We got cut off, but you
No
were
worries.
saying you had to come into the space and like learn about makeup.
Oh yeah, I had to learn about makeup. So, anyways, I'm at the Paley Center, and I get an exclusive. And an exclusive means like, well, you guys know what it means, but for anybody
Yeah, yeah.
listening, it
Please.
means like a celebrity told you something that they didn't tell anybody else, and so you get to like run with it first, and it's good for pickup for
Yeah.
like online platforms. So
Big deal.
yeah, big deal. And Simon Cowell gave me an exclusive.
Amazing.
Oh.
And the company that I was working for hired me because of that. I've never gotten to thank him.
That's
and
amazing.
One of my
that
friends
that.
was his private chef for
Really?
years. Yeah.
So I don't have a ton of like inside knowledge on him, but the time that I've spent interviewing him, which was a few times after that, and I saw him like when the cameras were down in the X Factor room.
Yeah.
He is incredibly kind to people.
Oh, I
He
love
looks
that.
like
I love
it.
to hear
His
that.
persona
He
on
seems
TV
like
is
it.
like a little
Yeah.
like cheekier.
Yeah.
And he's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays it up
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
judging, as he should.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. My friend had
yeah.
a good experience. So
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I like hearing that too. So yeah, that I was kind of like off to the races. I started doing entertainment news, and then worked at a place called Clever TV, and then ultimately Entertainment Tonight Online. I moved back to Chicago, where I'm from, to do a morning show. Moved back
How
to LA.
fun.
She's so cool.
It was so fun. That was like one of my favorite jobs
I
ever.
bet.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Except for maybe the hours.
I was up at 2:45 in the morning.
Oh
every
my
day.
goodness.
But
I
here's
always
the
watch the
thing.
morning news, or I don't. But when I do, I'm like, you
Yeah.
guys are up at like 2
It's
a.m.
crazy.
Yeah.
When morning show hosts say things that are like a little off,
Yeah.
I'm like, you
You're
have
like,
to just like
yeah.
go with
Give
it
them
because they are
grace.
so tired.
Give
Like,
them grace.
I don't know how Hoda doesn't like mess up more. You know, like she's amazing. But yeah, and then I came back to I missed LA, and I was dating somebody who lived here.
Oh, okay.
And we moved in together, and I started working at IMDb and the NBC station here. And then 4 months later, I moved out of that apartment with the guy I was dating into my own apartment. And fast forward, now I'm working with Hello Sunshine. I do a podcast with them called The Bright Side, and then I have my own podcast called Pretty Smart.
You are so busy.
Her Pretty
You
Smart
have two
podcast. Yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah, but I love it.
That's why she's like the podcast pro. I was so excited to have you on. Since we started, I'm like, Danielle.
So what is the difference between the two podcasts? The one with Hello Sunshine, and that's Reese Witherspoon's network, right?
Yeah, she
Love
executive produces
Reese.
it. Yeah,
she has
she's
a big
amazing.
presence in Nashville as
Huge.
well. Like her, what's her store called?
Draper James.
Draper James in
Yes.
12th South. So cute. There's literally like a line around the corner to get in oftentimes
Oh,
when I go there
wow.
for brunch.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's her clothing line.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she also has her
Very
office
southern.
What a
there.
boss. Okay.
So Hello
I thought
Sunshine.
she lives there, right?
She
I
does.
thought so, yeah.
Yeah, Hello Sunshine has something called the Collective, and it's like they'll pick like 10 to 12 content creators per year that are part of the Collective. And so when I started doing the podcast with them, my co-host and I were part of it that year. And like the end of it was like we culminated in Nashville, and she like let us into her office, and they threw like a really nice dinner. It was really sweet.
Fun.
Yeah, but she's really awesome.
Okay, so your podcast, Pretty Smart,
Yes.
is yours. It's separate.
Yes, it's my baby.
And what is the basis behind that? What is the theme, the concept, the driving force?
So actually, as makeup pros and beauty experts, I think you'll appreciate this. I was interviewing tons of women in entertainment on red carpets and junkets and so forth, and they were so smart. Like the majority of them were really, really smart.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I actually have, I sort of have this theory or idea that many actors are like highly intelligent people that could have chosen to be attorneys or doctors or many other things, but they just had this like burning passion inside of them and decided to become an actor. And I think a lot of times particularly living in LA, we sort of denigrate actors because we're
Yeah.
like, oh, another actor.
Yeah.
But really, like, I think it's such a brave thing to pursue.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of respect for them. And so the ones that I've interviewed are really smart for the most part. And I was like, they're not even being asked interesting questions. Like, it's just this like, rat race of media coverage, particularly the women.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, I'd always wanted to start my own show, and Larry King was my mentor, and I would go to breakfast with him.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
How incredible.
Truly incredible. The most curious person to this day that I've ever met.
Yeah, I bet.
And when I was with him, he'd be like, you need your own show. And I was like, they're not really handing out shows, Larry, like they used to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't quote me on this, but I think this is what happened. Like, he was on the radio, and one day CNN called, or his agent called and was like, do you want an interview show on CNN? And like, that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So I would always kind of like roll my eyes and laugh. But when COVID hit, I was like, I want to make my own show. I want to make the show I've always wanted to host and ask the questions I've always wanted to ask, because when you work for another company, they like kind of tell you what to ask in a lot of ways. So I started Pretty Smart, which was the basis of women who are pretty bold, pretty witty, pretty strong, pretty smart, like putting a new spin on
Love
pretty.
that. Yeah.
And so I interview women across industries that are all of those adjectives.
Amazing.
And it's been the single greatest blessing in my life.
Oh. So Pretty Smart was just like the dream, everything you wanted to create, every conversation you wanted to have.
Yes.
And then tell us about your other podcast that's a part of Hello Sunshine.
Yeah, so this one is daily, which is really fun because growing up, like I wanted to be on the Today Show or Good Morning America, and I feel like this is the 2024, 2025 version of that. Because
And it's every single day?
Yeah.
So do you film every single day, or do you front load?
Yeah, no, we film almost every single day.
Wow.
Sometimes we'll do like 2 episodes a day, but
It's a lot.
it's a lot, but it's really fun and I love being a part of a team. Like I missed that in TV. When you're podcasting, I have a team that helps me produce the show, but we're not like on set together. It's not the same, and I miss that energy. So it's really fun.
That's so nice.
Totally
Yeah,
get that.
it is.
And again, the name of that one.
That one's The Bright Side.
The Bright,
Bright
Side.
Side.
Yeah, which
That's
is
so
very
cute.
Hello Sunshine. It's very happy.
What's it about?
It's basically like news and information to make your life better on a daily basis.
Okay, so
I
I'm going to
need
start listening
this.
to you daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot wait. I love the idea of
Oh,
that.
wow.
It's really great because we're inundated with all this awful stuff all the
Yeah.
time. Part of it is our algorithm, but part of it
Yes.
is like I think we're living through a bit of a hard time, and
Yeah.
we don't often focus on all the good things happening, and so we really try and highlight all that, especially for women.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know there's like a Instagram account called like the Good News Movement.
Love that one.
And I follow that, and it's so refreshing to see positive information. It's not like we're in denial. It's not trying, like I get frustrated when people are like, you need to know everything. It's like, actually, because I'm a big mental health advocate, I'm like, actually, sometimes you need to shut it off.
Yeah.
And like what impact, you feel
Sometimes you don't need to know
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of the bad news. You know,
every little thing.
there's this great book, I think it's called Enlightenment Now by Steven Pinker, and he's a Harvard psychologist. And he said that we're actually living through the best time in human history, and we often don't recognize it. Like, we are better educated, better fed, there's less poverty, literacy rates are on the rise, which is always a sign of human progress. Like, there are so many great things, and we just aren't seeing it on social media. And so sometimes I think it's like we gotta go touch grass,
Yeah.
get offline, and look at all the good.
So true. In
Yep,
fact,
I
we're
love
hearing
that.
the opposite. We're hearing that this is the worst time and everyone's having the shittiest time and everyone's
Yes.
upset and angry. But no, that's so nice to hear the positive spin on.
Yeah, and it's not denying all the hard stuff, but like statistically, we're living through the best time ever.
And also, what a positive experience to film those kinds of things daily for you, like for your mental, like you're not,
Yes.
like what a good space to be in.
I'll tell you something that changed my life. We had one interview with Dr. Ellen Langer, who I think she was the first psychologist, female tenured at Harvard.
Okay.
She's incredible. She was
Big
on Rich
boss.
Roll's podcast and went viral.
Okay.
But she talks about mindfulness, and I ended up loving her so much. I emailed her and I said, I feel like I didn't get enough of that. Like there was so much I wanted to talk to you about. Would you come on Pretty Smart? And she was like, of course.
Oh, I love
so
that.
I do another interview with her, and she said, there's one question you have to ask yourself when something tough happens. Is it a tragedy or is it an inconvenience?
I love that.
Changed my life. Because most things that feel tragic, like I'll tell you, I got home from Costa Rica yesterday, and I walk into my apartment and it was totally flooded. I know. Flooded, okay? This is awful.
Oh my gosh.
Most things are ruined.
Oh my gosh, and
still
you're here?
I wasn't going to flake on you twice.
Oh, no.
We would understand.
Yes.
So listen,
I know being in, but geez.
I appreciate you both. But listen, I'm sharing it because I thought of
And
her
you think
words.
I'm crazy? So are you. Listen, it takes one to know one.
Yeah, right?
Do you need help clearing up the
you're
flood?
so sweet. I'm so good. But I was like, I usually things don't shake me. I was like overcome with a, and then I thought of her words. Is it a tragedy or is it an inconvenience?
Ooh, that just gave me chills. Yeah.
It's actually
so
just
true.
an inconvenience.
Yeah.
It's a lot of paperwork for insurance stuff, and it's a pain in the butt. It is not a tragedy. I have my health. Her words changed my life.
Yeah.
That's a really
That
good.
is powerful.
Yeah, it is.
I really like that. I've been going through that process recently, actually, because every time stupid malfunctions happen, I've had a lot of stupid malfunctions. And it's like it either brings you to such a low point where you're like, oh my God, I can't get out of it. But it's like actually there are everyday problems that we're dealing with every single day. It's really not that big of a deal.
Yes.
Like we'll get over it. It's fine. So I like that. I'm going to use that regularly.
It's nice to just have a question to ask yourself because it feels overwhelming. And it's like most things are not tragedies.
Yeah.
She even said her entire house burned down one time, and like that's
Oh my
worse than a
gosh,
flood,
that's-
right?
that's
like
bad.
Her photos, everything.
God.
ruined.
no.
She watched it burn to the ground, and she said the fire department was like so confused by her because
She was like
she was
chilling.
fine. And they were like, "We've never seen anyone act."
They're like,
"Hello, are you home?
Is
Like,
this
are you
insurance
okay?
fraud? Like, why are you not upset?
Yeah.
You're right. Like, are you okay?"
Oh, wow.
And she was like, "It's a big inconvenience."
Yeah.
True.
I mean, that's a low key tragedy.
That is, I was going to say, is that an inconvenience?
I-
That's a tragedy. But
no
yes.
living thing was hurt. So
Yeah.
it's not
know?
a tragedy.
Wow,
I
she's
suppose,
awesome.
But like some sentimental things or like, oh my God, I think about the material things that I have that have been passed down from like my grandma that like just mean so much to me.
Yeah.
That feels tragic. But I love her perspective and I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, I think so too.
You just have to also like simultaneously, I guess, like give yourself some grace that it's okay to feel upset even though it's not a tragedy.
Yes.
And to like be pissed or whatever, but maybe that awareness allows you to move through those emotions quicker.
Have you been having like a sort of easy season, or have you felt a lot of the inconveniences that Natasha's talking about?
Inconveniences that, what were you talking about? Inconveniences?
Mine
Like
was,
with
dude, my decor lady for my
wedding,
wedding
yeah.
decided 2 days or 3 days before that she wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
So my whole family like jumped in. But I used that mentality. Of course, I was upset for like a day.
Yeah.
I was like, what? We're going to cancel our wedding, blah, blah, blah. But then I was totally fine. Like I was actually very chilled. And everyone helped out. Everyone made it happen. It became more fun than it was supposed to be, you know? So I didn't think about it at all as a tragedy, where most people would have been like, oh my God, this is tragic. We don't have someone to do our wedding.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds stupid and superficial, but
No,
It's not
big.
at all. And I actually think, well, I was this morning thinking like this flood stuff would really suck if I didn't have people
Yeah.
that were extending themselves to me. Like even a guy that I go to the gym with, I was like at the gym, and so he found out and he was like, "Can I help you?"
yeah.
Like that's so nice. So the fact that you had your family and all
Yeah.
these people who love you, it like makes it so much better. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's just stuff.
Yeah. I get
Everything
that.
happens for a reason, I think. And I don't know what the reason was, but I did see all the positives after.
Yeah.
It became the wedding I dreamed of.
Well, why do you think? Because you have like this eternally optimistic mentality. I noticed that about you since I met you.
Sometimes, but you don't see the sad. I do cry quite a lot. I have so many. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
We're sensitive people, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you're not optimistic.
Okay. I like to be optimistic. I feel like there are times where I try to be, And I'm like, I can't. I don't know how. But then I'm like, it's okay to not be optimistic about a situation. But I try to be, yes. So thank you.
Yeah.
I would take that as a compliment because
Do you think you were like that as a kid, or is it something that was instilled in you?
no, definitely not like that as a kid. As a kid, I was always upset. I was really sad. I was always lonely. I was always like, even when I was doing this incredible career, traveling everywhere, I was always focusing on the negatives. I was constantly focusing on, oh no, I'm in Bali today and I'm like alone. But so what? Now I look back at it like, girl, you should have just enjoyed yourself and not complained about having dinners alone because that's
But that's
magic.
what we were talking about. It's like it can seem like the dream, and it is an incredible opportunity, but also it can be very lonely.
Yeah.
Like you're out there by yourself, and like you might be staying in the best places, but like you're on the road that long and you don't have like friends or like family or that your main support.
Yeah.
I guess it's like everything else in the world. We polarize everything, but really it's both. It's this and it's this.
That's true. But when I look back, Natasha today would be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make the most of every situation because I didn't realize that before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like that.
Well, what flipped the script for you?
Yeah. I love having an interviewer.
I
on
know.
here.
I was just going to say, I'm like, this is going to be a fun podcast. What flipped it for me? I think just so many lows with business that every time I hit rock bottom, I actually saw something good came out of it. For example, a breakup, and I met my dream guy, and I never imagined I would meet someone so close to a breakup time. I was so depressed. I was alone. I was sad, blah, blah, blah. And then something good came out of it. So I do think that every time you hit some low point in your life, it's because something good is about to happen. Yeah.
I just listened to Tyler Perry on the Today Show this morning saying that every time he feels like there's like a failure, he doesn't even believe in failure, that it's always like led to something different and better in his life. And so he
to
like
redirect.
doesn't even,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, me too.
It's hard
The
to
reframe.
remember though, when things come and hit you, or
It
something
is.
that you poured your heart into like doesn't work out or something like that. In the moment, it's like so
Yeah.
Gutting.
yeah.
Totally.
And then you look back, and I guess over time with age and experience, you just start to learn that that's how it works. And so when you get hit, it hurts less
Yeah.
each time because you start to build that trust.
Well said.
But
Okay, I'm going to be an interviewer for a second.
go for it.
I love this.
Is there a moment that like you think about when you say those words, like something that really gutted you, had you on like the kitchen floor crying?
Yeah, for sure. When I was managing Sephora's social media platform, so I launched our Instagram video program. I managed our YouTube, and I was so passionate about it. I loved it so much, and I absorbed multiple head counts, and I was working way too many hours, but I didn't care because I loved the job so much. And then I finally hired an assistant manager, and I loved having someone that I could mentor and train, and she was just a sweet baby angel. And then COVID hit, and they restructured some things on the team, and they had to let go of her. And it was a really rock bottom moment for me because I was just so burnt out and I was so exhausted. And then the beauty director role presented itself, and it was a really hard decision for me to walk away from the old role. And I was so gutted that it wasn't what I wanted it to be, and that I was having a hard time with it because I thought that I wanted it so bad. And becoming a beauty director was the best decision I've ever made. And I look back in retrospect and I'm like, I can't believe that was a hard decision for me.
Right.
But I was like, leaving, climbing the corporate ladder, like I really wanted to be like the next CMO of Sephora was my dream. And I just realized that it wasn't. But at the time, it felt like my world was crushing around me, and everything I worked for was over. And I was fortunate that the beauty director role presented itself relatively quickly after that happened. Some people have to sit with it longer, but there was an adjustment period too, like still like, oh, did I make the right decision? Or but yeah.
I can tell you're like such a giving person. And so I think now getting to know you a little bit, the beauty director role is incredible because you're getting to like help people's dreams come true.
Yeah.
which is unbelievable.
You get to work. What I loved about my role before was I worked in the studio. I was coaching talent on set. I was creating collaboratively with people. So like, I get to do that even more in the beauty director role, but with more flexibility and with more creatives, because
that's why you know how to work the cameras. Now I get it.
Yeah. I have a lot of experience being on set, working with cameras and lights. Of course, at Sephora, we have a whole crew, and I'm not in the weeds with that per se, but enough years sitting around it, you learn enough. And even our sound guy, David, shout out David from Sephora, was a huge helpful hand in helping us figure out equipment and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, like all these equipments were because of him.
Yes. Even got us a discount, the best.
Just so you guys know, he got you all the best stuff.
Yes.
So good job, David.
A+?
You did
A+.
fabulous.
So how did you learn all of the equipment? Just from being around it as well, and then figuring it out for yourself with your podcast?
Yeah, I mean, I came up in local news, and so you have to, it's called like one-man band. You basically shoot, report, and edit your own pieces. And
Really?
So,
You edit?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Because there's like not a lot of money in local news anymore. And so
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work. People that are doing the news really love what they do for the most part, because you're not really getting paid that much anymore.
Wow.
You just like love stories and love people.
Yeah.
And that's why being in Chicago was so special for me, because not everybody gets to report or like do stories about the people where they grew up.
Right.
Like, you know, you could be in San Diego or wherever, but like to do it where I grew up, where I had this connection to the people, was so special.
That's so nice.
I think someone's coming in.
Hello, next guest. Can you? We're
guest is
This
here.
is Kubra.
Yay, Kubra! You can come join our episode.
This is Danielle.
Nice to meet you.
This is Melinda. You guys have met, of course.
Yes.
All the way from India. She also just had an incredible healing session.
Was it nice?
You're gonna bring all the good vibes. I love it.
We are.
Go settle
Go
in.
chill any room you want to chill in. You can go sleep in my bedroom.
I love it.
Okay.
I love her green glasses.
I know. She looks so cute.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So
Yeah, so
yes.
you like do your own stuff, and so I knew how to work cameras for the most part and edit, and
That's amazing.
I had people that I could call that
helps out, but
yes,
you had to figure it out.
David.
Yeah.
But for the most
that.
part, I kind of knew.
Wow.
Dang, okay.
TV and podcasting are actually very similar.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's constant eyes.
Because it was really similar to recording content for YouTube.
Yes.
Like YouTube's a little different from TV, but pretty similar. And that was the crossover for me. And I was like, it's pretty much the same. Yeah.
I think so too. And I kind of like Sephora has such high value content. I felt the same way in TV. Like, doing a morning show is really high value content.
Yeah.
And it's like shot beautifully.
Yes.
And so like you have those standards coming into the podcasting world. And I think like we probably bring a little extra something to it.
I
Definitely.
know. I was like listening to I listened to all like the Spotify master classes for podcasting just to like know what's going on and keep up. And one of the main things that they always talk about is like, don't worry about the quality, like just jump in, get started.
Yeah.
Like that'll come over time. And when we started, I was just like, I'm worried about the quality.
I could not disagree more with that.
Yeah,
I
know.
100% agree.
Quality
with
is so important.
so important.
It really is.
you. If you're
the
gonna
visual.
do it the best.
Well,
Yeah.
And I think sound quality, I don't think is what they were talking about necessarily. I think they were talking about the visuals.
Yeah.
Like the video, but video podcast has become like the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
everyone's
how people
video.
are finding podcasts now, or through
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like if you care about discoverability.
Well, and then the cross promotional aspect of creating cut downs and using them on social, because otherwise you're having to create like net new stuff, which is so much more work.
Yeah.
Or it looks crappy. So, anyways, we figure it out. But yeah, I had high standards coming into this for sure. Hence the upgraded
Yes.
equipment.
Good.
Thanks. I have a question for you. When was your rock bottom moment where you realized, because you're super optimistic as well.
Yeah.
Like you're just a burst of positive energy all the
Thank
time.
you for that.
I mean it.
I've had a few in my life, some personal, some professional. I would say the one that was the most gutting in my career was actually really interesting. So it's like a little bit of a story. So I moved to LA wanting to be on E. It was my dream. And I would go in for meetings every once in a while. Either somebody there would call me in or my agent would call me and say, hey, I think there might be an opening. Why don't you meet with so-and-so? And I met with so many different departments there. And we'd have a great meeting, and then nothing would ever happen. And I kept thinking, like, I am so, like, this is so my thing. Like, how could they not hire me? Like, why am, like, it's just about timing. Like, I gotta get, like, and so I would constantly try, like, I'd stay up at night. I don't know if you'd ever, like, go to bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about something that you want so badly that you could, like, taste it and feel it. That's how I would stay up at night thinking about it. And so before COVID, there was an audition. They were moving E to New York, E News.
Okay.
And there was an audition, and I did it, and then I got a call back, and then I got a call from my agent that was like, okay, can you get to New York tomorrow to do, like, the final audition? And I was like, I'm in the running. And he was like, yeah. So I didn't have an outfit. I was like, what am I going to wear? It's the most important part, right? I get on the flight to New York on a red eye. I'm exhausted. I wake up at 5 a.m. to do my makeup, get dressed. I go to the studio, do the audition. Everyone was really nice. It went well. It was in 30 Rock, which is, like, so iconic. It was just such a cool experience all the way around.
Epic.
And I was staying at a Kimpton hotel, and I got a call from my agent that night. And usually you don't get a call so quickly. And he was like, I'm sorry, like, they're not going with you.
Okay.
And I couldn't even, I was like, okay, thanks, let me call you back. Because I was gonna, like, I felt the tears in my throat. So I hang up the phone, and I fell on the bed, and I was like, this is it. Like, it's not gonna happen. If this wasn't the moment, it's not gonna happen for me.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I was like inconsolable. Like, no, I'm pretty, like, resilient with a no. They're never personal to me. I don't care.
Wow.
This one gutted me because I felt like this was the end of the dream. And I had moved to LA and sometimes missed family or friends' birthday parties or bachelorettes because I was working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I feel you there.
Yeah.
You know, those long hours. And, like, when you work for a company, sometimes you don't get to take off a Friday and go to your friend's
You're
bachelorette
chasing
party.
your dreams. And
Yeah.
it's really hard to balance.
And you're broke, which
Yeah.
sucks. You know, like, they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
pay you a lot.
Yeah.
So I was just gutted, and I was actually dating a guy, and it was kind of new. And he came to the hotel, and I was sort of embarrassed because, like, it was so new that, like, why was he like, it was embarrassing that he was seeing me this upset.
Yeah.
And so he was an entrepreneur, and he was like, I get it, be upset, and then go build your own thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't understand. I can't go build my own thing. That's not my business. I'm in the business where I'm a TV host. I'm a reporter. Somebody has to hire me.
Yeah.
And he was like, says who?
Yeah.
Go build your own thing.
That's totally how I felt being at Sephora before starting this. I'm like, wait, I can't start my own podcast. I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
I'm managing Sephora's YouTube. Like,
Who says?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
What a great person to be. I'm
was
glad.
really-
Yeah. What an angel.
he was so, I'll never
need
forget
that.
that night. Like, he hugged me, he made me feel better, and then he was like, use this and go do something about it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So fast forward, COVID hits like about a month or two later. I want to start this show Pretty Smart. I put my entire savings into it because I wanted to do it high value.
Wow, yeah.
I had a certain vision for it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money. It wasn't
Yeah.
just like a little bit,
Yeah.
but I believed in it. And I was producing it, you know, doing all the things, booking guests, etc. And it started getting a little traction. Then it started getting a little more traction. And then I parted ways with the network I was at, which also felt really scary.
That is.
And
Yeah.
oh my God, now I have to do this all on my own.
Yeah.
Did it. It actually started getting some more traction.
Woohoo. I love this.
And I was getting a pedicure one day and financially struggling because I was pouring all my money into this. I was living in like this 1-bedroom shitty apartment because I was pouring all my money into Pretty
Yeah.
Of
Smart.
course.
I'm getting a pedicure one day and the phone rings and it's this woman at E. And she's like, hey, Danielle, nice to meet you. I'm so-and-so. are you free on Friday to come in and shoot this show? And I was like, how'd you get my number? What
Right,
show?
like, where's
what
this
show
coming
are you
from?
talking about? And she was like, well, we've auditioned like 30 or 40 people for it and no one's right. And so my boss, Tammy, just thinks you should do it.
Wow.
I was like, I just like I speechless because
Yeah.
one, nothing had ever fallen into my lap before. Like, you know, when people would say like, oh, I was discovered at the mall. Like that doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Everything I do, I'd have to work so hard to get.
Yeah.
And then this woman just offered me a job at E that I'd always wanted. And so it ends up working out. I get the job, we do the show, and I was in Tammy's office one day, and she's such a smart, sweet person. And I was like, I have to ask you, why did you hire me? And she was like, oh, that's easy. I love your podcast.
What kind of following did you have at that point? Like,
Probably like the same following I had now,
okay.
maybe
So
a little less.
what made it like skyrocket? So how far in were you?
The podcast?
Yeah.
I actually don't think it had skyrocketed at that point.
Okay.
But
Oh, wow.
she had been following me on Instagram.
I see.
And she heard the
She was
podcast
watching.
and I guess would listen or watch.
Amazing. Okay.
And I just think that the story is a testament to building your own
Yeah.
thing.
Yes,
Because here I thought
exactly.
that my career was over. I was never going to work at E. And
Yeah.
pouring all of my time, money, love, and energy into
Yeah.
this thing that was mine ended up getting me the job.
That's
It
amazing.
was crazy.
That
Wow.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, a testament to just taking a step off that ledge when it feels scary.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm about to do it again. I have an idea that is so scary that I actually called the same guy and I was like, I want to do this thing.
Wow.
But yeah, we're not even dating, but I
Yeah,
called
but-
him and I was like, I want to do this thing, but I'm so scared. And he was like, oh, that means you got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have to.
That's what they say.
You have to.
I don't know who they is, but all this self-help
All the
shit that I've
people.
absorbed.
No, but actually, this is amazing.
when
I'm
something
so-
feels scary, it's usually. I always talk about that too. It's like scary and excited, or like anxious and excited. They're such similar feelings. It's hard to delineate between the two. Oftentimes,
That's
like
a great point.
yeah, and oftentimes they're happening at the same time.
Yeah.
You're anxious or you're scared because you are so excited, and the idea of it not happening is scary.
Yeah.
Because you care.
Yeah, because you care
Yeah.
so much.
I always think like because I grew up dancing.
Me too.
And I would have to pee so bad before I got on stage. And my
I
dance
get pee
teacher,
anxiety.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah,
So my dance teacher would be like, Danielle, that means you care.
yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah.
And I think about that all the time in
Yeah.
life now.
Oh yeah, I was a competitive dancer growing up.
Oh my God. What
I
kind?
was
Yeah.
doing like 25 hours of either class and competitions a week. It was nuts. I started in ballet like most people and did point and all of that. But when I competed, I was very much so into like hip hop, modern, and lyrical.
Yeah.
So kind of the more like off the regular. But I loved breakdancing as well. I was never very good at. I was never very good at it.
Breakdancing. I didn't know
I
this.
think you need to show us.
Yes,
something.
come on, show us.
I can literally, it's a party trick. I did it at my sister-in-law's bachelorette party on the grossest bar floor. I had a few drinks, obviously. I can still do a stall, which is when you like, you're on the ground, you kind of put your elbows into your stomach and then you lift your body
Oh
up.
wait, what? You can do that?
It's still a party trick.
That's
Yep.
Oh my
so
God, you
cool.
and Omarion. I'm so excited about this.
This
But
is
I
very
was
cool.
never very good at breakdancing. I dabbled in it, but I always loved it. I just found like it takes so much strength, and it's very freeing because like as much as it's very like mechanical and you have to figure it out, there's something freeing about like the lack of, I guess maybe just a different kind of technique. I don't know. I
Yeah.
loved it though. What about you? What did you do?
So great. I did like ballet and hip hop
Yeah.
and jazz.
Oh, cool.
But I just
Similar.
would always have to pee before I competed.
So funny.
Or performed.
Anytime I'm
That's
going
me anytime I go
anywhere.
on stage. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Like
it
50
means you
times.
care.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Before I got married, I was like, not another.
In your dress.
In that dress. Oh
Yeah.
my God. It was so difficult to pee so many times,
Were
but
you
it was good.
emotional at your wedding?
Not the way that I thought I would be crying. I was just so happy. Like genuinely, I felt like I just felt really peaceful. And I think that's what I wanted because the last wedding, I was definitely not peaceful. I was a disaster. This one, I was just like, everything's so good. Yeah, it was great.
I'm so happy.
It was
for
really,
you.
really good. But yeah, but I'm excited for this new thing now that you're going to do because entrepreneur to entrepreneur, I want to know like, how can we help? What can we do?
So sweet. Thank you. It's like a seed of an idea right now. I have
Okay.
to build it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
But
Well, let us know.
yeah, thank you.
Of
I will.
course.
I would love for you guys to be a
How
part of it.
exciting.
Thank you.
Okay, so besides this, right?
Yes.
You have this seed that you're planting. Is there anything else that's coming up that you can announce or tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about?
I think I gave you my card game
Yes.
a while ago.
She has a really cool, sexy. Okay, you can talk about it. But
No,
card
it's better. You're a better hype woman. Please, you talk about it.
It is the most. So it's like a deck of cards, not like mine. Mine is like merch, brand merch. Hers is like a full on, like a proper card game that you would have at home.
Yeah.
Beautifully packaged. Everything's gold and sexy. And it's questions because this is her. It's like a representation of her. So it's getting to know people, sparking conversations. And this is why we both get along so well. It's like we all are, we're quite similar in that sense.
We are.
We like to be inquisitive and ask questions and make people connect.
Yes.
And I love that about you.
I love that about you too.
So yes, your cards.
Okay, that was amazing. Way better than I could do.
No.
I'm not a good salesperson.
No. That's why you have friends who do it for you.
There you
It's
go.
called pitching behind your back.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's called Question Everything. So it's 52 cards for deeper conversation. They're really fun at like a dinner party or a girls' night. But this year I'm going to have some expansion packs. So I've been putting together, I'm really rigorous about the questions. So they go through probably 6 months and 17 to 20 rounds of like changes. But I'm going to do a date night pack, like for date
Cute.
3.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, that one I'm really excited about. And I'm going to, I think, do a girls' night in pack. 'Cause
Cute.
There's so many girls' night outs.
Yeah.
But like, this is what I do with my
Exactly.
friends. So
Same.
like, what happens when you're in?
Yeah.
Mm.
And
so
so
I'm gonna
many
do
more
that.
people are staying in.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
You know,
LA
they're, like,
sober,
coming like
baby.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. The ambiverts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Explain this.
ambiverts.
Okay, so there's introverts, there's extroverts.
Yes.
Extroverts, like the definition is, do you get energy from being with people?
Mm-hmm.
Extroverts, yes. Like she's in a crowded room, she is hyped.
Yeah.
We're in a crowded room and we're like kind of exhausted at the end of it.
Yes,
but we
very.
can be extroverted in the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's an ambivert.
Ambivert. You know, I feel like I've
Introvert,
had
yeah.
someone tell me that before. I always just say I'm an introverted extrovert.
You're an ambivert.
Ambivert. I need to
Ambivert.
remember that.
Got it.
Yeah. Because introverts are truly exhausted by
Yeah.
the experience.
Yeah.
We like being an extrovert in the room, but we are exhausted by the
Yeah,
experience.
and don't last as long, and usually
Yeah.
need more breaks, and yeah.
And like you charge up being alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, I was listening to a stand-up the other day. I wish I remembered her name because it was so good. But she was making this point about basically as you grow up, you're forced to be an extrovert. Like until you become an adult and actually can get in touch with your authentic self, you find out like what you actually are. And maybe you are an extrovert and that's great. But growing up when you're not really like as in tune with your authentic self, I think a lot of people aren't. We're moving towards a place where like people are parenting a little bit differently and allowing for more of that. But like you're kind of forced into being extroverted because it's always like, oh, blah, blah, blah's here, give them a hug. Or like,
Wow.
which is such like a viral thing in the last couple of years of parents not wanting to force their kids to like
Yeah.
have touch with people if the kids don't want to.
Yep.
I'm not a parent. I'm not here to talk about parenting advice, but I just find it, I found that hit me really hard. I was like, yeah, growing up, like if you would have asked me, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until my late 20s that I realized how exhausting it was. And I overcorrected and became like very recluse and like very protective of my time. And now I'm kind of like balancing out again.
Yeah. The pendulum swung. Good for you.
Yep.
It's good. You know, my mom, I think, was ahead of her time. She never made me hug anybody.
Really?
Oh,
Even
wow.
my grandparents.
I love that.
I didn't want to hug my grandfather, and it upset him a lot. And my mom was like, I don't want her to hug a male figure if
Right.
she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And feel like you have to when authority tells you, or feel
That's
like you have
awesome
to
that
when
she-
it's when an elder or something like that.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Sometimes, and if you're not in the mood, it's like you're a person too, even though you're a little person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
A lot of my friends are doing that actually, and I think it's so good. They're telling their kids that, do what makes you comfortable. Especially in our culture, Indian culture, you have to jump and kiss and hug every uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like growing up, I swear, like it's performative. Like as a kid, there's so much like performative shit because you're just being told what to do constantly by other people. So this is like my brother lives on like a big piece of land, and he and his wife in San Diego. It's not a huge piece of land, but it's kind of like their house is down in a canyon, so they have like more space than the rest of the houses in suburbia. But they just kind of like let their kids wander around the property and do their own thing and like be barefoot, and they're like such little hippie kids. But I'm like, this feels positive because like how much time do they have to like explore and find things out on their own and learn on their own and not be directed or told or whatever it might be.
I know. I think that's where culture is headed too.
Yeah.
I think more people are feeling that way.
This will be interesting. Yeah. But it sounds like
great.
your mom's amazing.
She's amazing.
Did you grow up with mom and dad or just mom?
Yeah, I actually just got back from Costa Rica, and I was there with my dad. We do an annual trip every year somewhere new.
Fun.
How cute.
It's really, I look forward to it every year.
That's so cool.
So I have really nice relationships with each of them.
Wow.
That's nice.
Are they still together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's
I
cute.
know.
Wow, you're like
Special.
a butterfly.
Yeah. That's so nice of you to say.
Truly though, like it's I think I have
Sound like there's so many
Exciting.
things happening.
wow. Growing up, my parents did not have a positive relationship. They divorced when I was 7, and it was the best thing that happened to my family, in my opinion, was them getting a divorce.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what happens is like when you're young and you have trauma or certain experiences, you gravitate towards people who also have had that. So that's probably part of the reason. But I literally only have one friend
Yeah.
that I grew up with up until probably my mid-20s. She was like my only friend that had a positive example of a relationship and parents who were still together. So to me, it's like so rare.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But who
Really?
like I wonder for you growing up, do you have friends that like have parents who are together and like had
I have both.
okay. Yeah.
I think, divorce is so prevalent now.
It's so
It's
prevalent.
like
Yeah.
crazy to me if you don't have friends whose parents are
Exactly.
divorced.
Yeah.
Like the likeliness.
Yeah.
Purely statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
But yeah, you know what? I think you said something that was really interesting and I'm curious about, because I think sometimes when parents stay together and it's a negative relationship, it's worse for the kids. I hear
So much
Glennon
worse.
Doyle talk about it a lot. She's like, you don't
worse.
want to be a martyr, be a model for
Yes.
your kids. Don't just stay in the
Oh,
marriage.
full body
for them.
chills.
Yeah.
I get
know?
chills every time I feel truth. Like it's like my sign for truth. I could not agree more.
I like that you're so in touch with like your body and your mind are so connected.
It's a new thing for me the last few years. I started to explore clairvoyance and I'm a meditation facilitator now and I love breath work. So I got in tune with feeling my body. And trust me, girl, I'm still learning. I have so much to learn. I'm like getting to know your authentic self and your intuition is a roller coaster, but it's the only way to live and the only way to move forward.
I'm like, I feel like taken aback because I actually think, particularly for women, trusting your instincts is something we're told not to do.
Girl.
And I used to, when I had to make a big decision, I'd ask everybody else
Yeah.
what they thought.
So much external information.
So much external
and
information.
it spins you the fuck
It really
out.
does. I don't do that anymore.
Ever.
I don't really ask for people's opinion.
Just take a shower, take a breath, and think like, what do I want? What is the right choice? And you
But
kind of
it's
know.
so
Yeah.
hard. I feel like my logical brain always takes over.
Yeah.
Like my intuition and my heart will tell me something and then I reason and I reason and I reason. It's even in my astrology it says that like I do this. So I know it's like a challenge for me, but
Maybe that's why the breath work's so good.
It
It
is.
gets you in there.
yeah.
That's really cool that you explored that. I have a million questions offline for you.
Still exploring it, still learning.
Are you
taking
into all of
everything.
that?
Yeah, I'm not clairvoyant at all, but I have seen psychics. I'm very interested. And
Yeah.
The book, Many Lives, Many Masters, really changed me.
That is a life-changing book.
It's a life-changing book.
My friend Rebecca, shout out Rebecca, recommended that to me, and I devoured it. And I actually read it, and then I listened to it on tape as well.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
that's cool.
It is powerful.
It changed the way I think about death, the way I think potentially about clairvoyance, about having multiple lives. So yeah, I'm curious about all of it, and meditation and breath work has really helped me too.
Yeah.
So
I was so sick after my mental health took a tumble I shouldn't say tumble, hit rock bottom during the pandemic. I had chronic nausea for 3 years from attempting antidepressants that just fucked up my nervous system. And breath work is truly, I believe breath work is truly what healed my nervous system. I think it's still healing. And I think it's part of the reason I struggle with overwhelm and being in big environments and stuff, which is also part of, I think, practicing clairvoyance. Being around a lot of energy can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I am such an advocate for breath work.
good for you for like trying all these different methodologies and figuring out what works for you. It's
My
not
rock
easy.
bottom, and we've talked about this, and I'm sorry if it feels really dark, but we tend to go there here. My rock bottom was I wasn't going to live anymore if I couldn't find a way out. And so that, like, I'm really, like, I've always been very hesitant with, like, medication. Even me taking antidepressants was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, but I had to try everything. And when that
Yeah.
made me sicker, it was like, okay, where can I go? And clairvoyance and breath work is the only thing that kind of recentered me. But I don't know, still figuring it out.
I think that was the first time you really said it like that on our podcast. Like, so, like, we've spoken about it, but so straight to the point.
Yeah,
That was,
I mean, maybe I haven't spoken about like my suicidal thoughts as directly.
yeah.
Because I always just say, you know, it was rock bottom, head to the ground, and
Yeah.
maybe I am holding back a little bit on that. You know,
But I'm proud of
didn't
you.
I didn't think seriously about. I never set myself up to take the action, you know, because suicidal thoughts are a spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
and so I want to be clear that, like, I did not attempt anything, but when you're in that kind of space and you're thinking about it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's a slippery slope. And so it was just kind of like trying anything that I could, because I
Yeah.
couldn't like live another day feeling how I was feeling. But thank you for saying that. But truly it was like, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you did, and
I suppose. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
You know, as an interviewer, I think I require vulnerability from people, and I'm not always willing to give it so easily. And so when someone else goes first,
Yeah.
and you're so good at going first, it's makes me feel like more safe to do it.
Yes.
So I'm just grateful that
Yeah.
you
Oh my
shared.
gosh. No, thank you. I appreciate it. And it's being in an energy and a space with you where I feel comfortable doing so, because
Yeah.
it is an energetic exchange, you know, like you have to feel comfortable with someone's energy to like go there. So it's you as well,
That's super kind.
which is no surprise being that you are
You're
a
so good.
very successful interviewer. Obviously you're quite good at making people feel comfortable.
You really are.
I just love people.
I
Yeah.
know. We get high. I feel you. I'm like,
Yeah.
you get high on it.
Yeah.
I get high on this, like on
Yeah.
connecting, on pulling out people's vulnerabilities. And I saw it when I was coaching people on Sephora's platforms, coaching them behind the camera, telling them what to
Oh,
say, asking them
interesting.
questions. My job was to tell them like, oh, apply it this way, like a lot of marketing stuff. But the more I analyzed the content, because I was also doing the analytics, it was a small team
Right.
before it blew up. And I was seeing how the more vulnerable content performed better, it got less hate, all the things. And so I was like, we need more of this. So I started to really redirect my energy towards making them feel comfortable, making them more vulnerable,
Yeah.
comfortable vulnerability, of course, not pushing too hard. But that's when I recognized how much I love it.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's just, it was so fun. It was so fun. Like, and I would just get high on it. And so doing this is like, I just get even bigger doses of it, you know?
Well, that's cool for me to hear that the vulnerability was actually trending and like helping in the algorithm.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Really
Part
cool
of
to know.
me, like, mental health has become, I'm a mental health advocate as a beauty director for Sephora as well. They lend their platform to it for me. And I found that mental health becoming mainstream is amazing, right? Because awareness, and that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But I do find that people are picking up on the fact that being vulnerable does perform better. And I do find that there is inauthentic vulnerability happening.
Oh, yeah.
And it's,
So much
it's
of it.
quite difficult to differentiate between.
Yeah. But people know.
Yeah.
I think
feel it
That's the
right
thing.
away.
You can feel when someone's
Feel
being
it right
genuine.
away.
you think so, but people are good. Like
Yeah.
people are really, especially through social media, you know, because it's like they're pre-recording, they're editing. Like I've said this on the podcast already, but it just was so like icky to me. It's really stayed with me. And I was talking to Natasha about it the other day. There's this video that went viral of this woman with her child, and she thought that she was filming an Instagram story, but she accidentally went live on Instagram.
Oh, no.
And she was fake crying and yelling at her kid to fake cry better.
That's so disgusting.
So like
Oh, no.
here I am, like mental health advocate,
That's
health advocate, like
horrifying.
saying like this is what performs better, trying to encourage people to be more vulnerable. But then
Yeah.
they're like, some people are not in their journey, they are not in a place to be that, and that's
Yeah.
okay. But
Okay, so how about this? Because Oprah says that when you are in a state of flow, your personality and your purpose are aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And the word influencer comes from influere, which means to flow. Okay? So the best influencers,
Didn't know that.
I think, the people
know
doing
that's
it best is like, think about who give me people doing it best. The Rock kills social media. Liza Koshy's great at social media. Who else?
I mean, we just interviewed my good friend Tennille, who was on Sephora Squad, and she is talk about in flow. That
Yeah.
woman is in flow.
She really is.
Okay.
And it is her personality. It is so authentic. She does it with her daughters. Like it's a family affair, and they love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels good.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very
So
good.
You meet
Anybody
her
that
and
you-
she's in flow.
Yeah.
So anybody that I think is really doing well on social, they're not showing you every part of their life.
Yeah.
We don't know The Rock's. He doesn't show his girlfriend very much or his wife. Like, we don't know every part of their life, but what we do see is real to them because their personality and their purpose are aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I like
I
that.
think for people who are
powerful.
not aligned in that, that's when the ickiness happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So true.
And
So
they
true.
can feel that, but yeah, it's scary. It's like, I agree. I think you can most often sense it, but sometimes I feel like people might not be able to.
I don't know. I think audiences have a high BS meter.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always said that in TV.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree
because
with that.
when you're a TV host, you're not an actor. It's like the person who is most themselves.
Right. You're playing
wins.
you. Yeah. So true.
So it's really important to like be the best, biggest, fullest version of yourself.
you.
You're not playing a role. And when I look at TV hosts who are playing a role, that's when I change the channel. Or roll my eyes. Like,
Yeah.
First of all, what voice are you doing? Where does
The
like that doesn't feel
voices.
authentic? You
My
know?
gosh.
Like
Who was it? Is it Tinks? One of the big like beauty influencers, I think it was Tinks, at one point said that she had been consuming so much beauty content and so like hyper fixated in the space that she noticed her voice permanently changed.
Oh, whoa.
And so she like took like a voice lesson or something like
wow,
that to
that's
recorrect it.
You're kidding.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
mean,
funny if
I
that's true.
remember
Yeah.
when I started at Sephora, and beauty content was like just starting to peak, you know, back in like the Becca Jaclyn Hill days. And I would be filming with talent on set, and every single video started with, "Hey guys." Every beauty YouTube.
It's so annoying. I
From,
can't
like-
shake it off still.
from like
I'm
2020.
serious. I still, hey guys, so I'm gonna do my makeup today. It just fucking comes naturally, and I'm like, stop it!
I literally,
But it's like so annoying.
there was a conversation internally about like pronouns and like whether or not we should use guys, and I was just like, at the base level, we should just stop because every
Yeah.
beauty
Everyone does it.
content starts with that. Like, let's differentiate ourselves.
I know. But then it turned into Hey Friends.
I do say
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
friends.
she
Which I
does. Hey
love.
friends,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But then
Cute.
I'm like, is friends okay? Because like, are we friends?
Yeah.
But like we are, we're all
It
friends.
can feel like a little like kiss assy because
Right.
you're like, I don't even, there's people out there watching me that I don't necessarily know.
Right.
But you
we
know,
are
you
in
want
a
to connect.
community.
Yeah. We
I
are
know,
a part of a
totally agree.
community.
I like Hey Friends.
I like
Yeah.
hey friends.
Yeah. If I was Southern, I'd say Hey Y'all, but that's
I've
not natural
tried
to me.
to adopt it,
Y'all
but
is
it doesn't
cute.
feel natural to me. I'll say
You
it
could do
occasionally.
it.
Well, I'm in Nashville now.
You've earned it.
but it does not
Hey,
feel
y'all.
authentic to me either.
Yeah.
But I love it for what it is. Yeah.
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 Because you speak like several different languages.
Yeah.
Is there something that you could say that's like international and cool?
Sup.
Sup?
Sup. No,
feels very
honestly,
LA,
like
Natasha.
I could do Cantonese, I could do
Right.
Tagalog, I don't know if I could do Hindi very well. It'd be like, namaste. No, it wouldn't work.
You should say namaste at the beginning of all your videos.
If I said namaste like that, all the people in India would kill me
Yeah,
because it's
okay.
namaste and then they get mad about it. But I actually think it's really cool that everyone in America says namaste
Right.
or namaste. However way you say it, whenever I go to yoga and I see like a lot of my friends getting offended by the tone or the pronunciation, I'm actually like, this is so freaking cool. Like
It's funny.
everyone is saying something that is part of, India. And I didn't grow up, I wasn't born and raised in India. I was actually born and raised in Hong Kong. So I understand like the Chinese culture, that my mom is born in the Philippines. So I understand Filipino culture so well. But Indian culture, I've just started to get to know it recently and I love it. I think it's so cool.
What made you get to know it?
My friends truly. I was never really allowed to go to India until when I was 20 was the first time I went from university. Went over, I think I was doing wedding dress shopping at that time for the first wedding. And then fell in love, met all these cool people, met one of my best friends, Kubra, who's our next guest today.
Hey, Kubra.
and by the way, she's also started as a host, which is why she's sitting there like, I want to jump in because I
my
know.
gosh, I love it.
Yeah. She's like, okay,
Come in,
just
come in,
join.
come in. Just join.
Come on.
Here, we can
in.
share a mic.
Yeah.
This is so cute. I think this is the first time we've done this.
You guys want to share?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
I agree with what you were saying so hard because I've been a host for a very, very long time. And it's so true because it's so different being an actor and it's so different being a host. Because when you're a host, you are 100% seeing and feeling and seeing the entire atmosphere like everyone else is. And it's so strange. You can't exclude them from their experience.
Yeah.
So when you actually say something that's happening and it's something that you cannot avoid in that moment, and you have the courage to just say it there. Oh man, there's no better day at work. Like it's just such a fun day when you are just yourself.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to switch back and forth because you're both an actor and a host?
I don't know what I love more. I think hosting is just a lot easier now because it's like, oh, I know who I am.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah.
do this. Acting, I still feel like sweaty palms.
Mm.
And
Acting, I would imagine, takes a lot more preparation.
yeah, remembering your lines, remembering where you're going with this scene, remember where your character is going with this scene. And then really that one moment that you will feel, which is so authentic to the character.
Yeah.
And that's literally the moment you're like, good day at work, guys.
Yeah.
It's a good day. And it's really rare. You don't get such good days all the time.
I know.
But when you do, oh man. I
This
feel
always
so well.
energizes us. I mean, I've said even before I stepped in front of the camera at Sephora, when I was just going into the studio and creating something like this, I could go in like feeling so low and I would come out feeling
Yeah.
so much better. So there's something to it. It's
There is
connecting, it's
something to it.
creating.
I mean, there's so many wonderful things that I was eavesdropping on. Purpose, passion. No, you said purpose and
personality.
Personality.
I like that
Same.
a lot.
Brilliant was that.
Yeah.
How Oprah.
I wish I could take credit. It's Oprah.
It's Oprah. Like, it's Oprah. Sometimes it's so easy for me to like fall back into patterns because these are new formed behaviors. These are new learned yeses and nos. These are new like moments of aha. And there's this very strong part of you because this is the part that you've lived for so long and served for so long, this personality of yours, that it's so easy to like forget how strong you are and how actually in the state of flow you are. That it's easy to go back, but it's very unsettling.
Yeah.
It's very unsafe.
Yeah.
You know it's not supposed to be that way. You know it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know this is not
Yeah.
where you are and where you belong. And all of that communication is happening while you're still trying to figure out the way out of the maze. It's interesting. And it's right there. From the outside, it looks like a botanical garden. It looks like, let us go and spend our Sunday there. But the minute you're in there, it's pretty stifling.
Yeah.
We should wrap up this
We
episode
should
and
wrap
then
up
bring
this
you in.
episode and not go too deep with Kubra so that we have
Yeah,
we can
exactly, so
pick
we can
your brain.
introduce you in
but
your
I love this
episode.
little tease. This episode definitely has to go live before your episode. Yes.
I'm so happy with
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Also, I would have really wanted you both to meet. So it's
I'm so happy to meet you.
she has an incredible podcast. Of course. You guys have to follow each other for sure.
Yes. I would like to.
You know when the energy enters the room and it just vibes, you know?
Look at both of you.
Like, come, join
Yeah,
the interview. No,
yeah.
that-
Smile. You're both so
I
cute.
know, I love it.
I do this now. I've learned this from her.
Yeah, she used to make so much fun of me. Oh my goodness. No, like in a cute banter friend. Why? You can start. You can
this
start.
is just-
So does he.
Do you make fun of her?
All the time. Dude, he shits on me all the time.
Girl, you also make fun of me and I take it. Oh, come on. Now you're lying to me.
I'm not keeping it raw and real. No, I'm just joking. I do bully Mark, but
You don't bully me.
no, I don't. I'm scared. I'm scared of you. Once, okay, she landed. Can I just tell one quick story? Okay, so she came to LA. What was it last year?
Hold on. How long have you known each other?
Very long. We've seen each other through everything.
But how'd you meet?
She was hosting a wedding and I was doing a wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Thailand, I want to guess.
We both were doing a wedding.
We were both doing a wedding and we were the life of the wedding. We were partying, having a great time. Really instantly connected. And then I went to Mumbai, didn't know anyone in Mumbai. And so as I was saying earlier, she was like, come, stay with me, stay in my house. We did a photo shoot in her house. We just had the greatest time.
She used to carry this big mirror with lights.
Everything. And this was like before I was married, before everything, but before I had a makeup brand, like just makeup artist, you know? And so anyway, fast forward, last year she comes to LA and she's like, Tash, I'm gonna need some clothes. Bring me jackets. And
So I didn't
I'm like,
ask for clothes. She offered me the clothes. She said, I will drop them off.
okay, Kubra, do you
will
need
wear
anything? Yeah, some jackets. Okay, some jackets. Okay, that's what she said. I need
Babe,
some
I
clothes.
have the video. She brought 23 pairs of shoes.
That sounds right.
Oh my God.
I wanted to give you variety.
And I was so upset. I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to move around in this house.
Oh my
It's not even
gosh.
mine.
So she got mad at me and she was
said,
like,
"Just
what is this? And I was like, what do you mean? You have options. You can choose anything.
Akash thought I didn't really like them.
Yeah. Akash was like, I don't think she likes you very much because she got mad at you.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh.
No.
It was so
It's a
cute.
little off. That's how she shows love.
Yeah.
That's how I show love. And that's how you show love.
Because soon
And
after she left, I didn't even wait for 10 minutes. I was already sending her pictures because I was trying on.
She was trying on everything. She was using it. She's used all the clothes, but she gave me so much shit for it. So, yeah, that's kind of our relationship. It's cute.
You gotta dish it and take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we should wrap up with Danielle now.
Yes.
Can I go?
Yes.
You can finish.
No, that's
No,
okay.
you can be
we
here.
Can wrap up together. Yeah.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me. Listen to the next episode.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Yeah.
That part's easy. Everything's at Danielle Robay, Robay.
Easy.
Instagram, website, everything.
Sorry for all the
card game,
noises.
The podcast, it's all on my Instagram.
And then podcast Pretty Smart,
Yes.
podcast Bright Side.
Yes.
Congratulations on your success and your dreams coming true.
Oh my God, thanks for saying that.
It's
You too.
inspiring. It's nice to see. You know, we're getting the wheels on these things, but it's inspiring to see people who have gone as far as you have. So
Yeah.
I mean, I could say the same about you too. I really I know it sounds corny, but I really believe like we rise together.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's so fun. we're lucky in our generation of women that like we have that feeling, because I
Yeah.
think certain like older generations it was more competitive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
So it's fun that we all get to do it together.
Actually get hyped for each other and support each other and celebrate it, and not like, oh, yeah.
Bring
thank
each other
God.
23 pairs of shoes. you know?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Lift
love,
each
that's
other up.
friendship.
Really lift each other up.
Literally.
She's like, what the
Literally 3
fuck
inches.
is this?
All right, so we'll take you into the other
Yes.
room. We'll do a quick confessional moment with you.
Yeah.
Selfie, and then that's it.
Oh, lovely. Okay, good. Now this is yours.
This episode to me was a perfect example of being interviewed by someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Or interviewing an interviewer.
Yeah. That was beautiful. I could tell instantly. She was like, you know how when we're doing this, sometimes we want to jump in and put our input. And there's so many instances where we want to just say something and we have to hold back as hosts. So I could see that in her.
Yes, but I loved, like, I felt like she was very intentional about the moments where she did do that. And when she did, it was like so badass. Like it hit every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved it.
And she's just so graceful. I think that's the word that I would associate with her. She's phenomenal. I love her as a human. And
She and I had a lot in common, I feel like, about the way that we think and what's the word? And not introverted, not extroverted. I already forgot
Akash,
it. See, I told her I was going to forget.
amnio,
Ambivalent.
ambivalent,
Help, Danielle, come back.
ambio,
That word is hard for me. I need to like write it down.
ambivalent. Do you remember? But what is it between extrovert
you
and
for
introvert? What's the in between? Ambivalent?
Hold on, let me look this up.
No.
Word for
Oh.
extroverted.
Interesting. I feel like you might be the word. That's why. So you
And ambivert.
ambivert.
This says ambivert.
It's not. But I'm just saying that might be you too, because
Ambivert.
it's someone who's not an introvert and not an extrovert.
An ambivert is someone who has a balance of both introversion and extroversion, with the ability to lean more into one or the other depending on the context. Like, that is so me.
Yeah. That's you
Like,
too.
you are just
Yeah. You're
you
great.
are a straight up extrovert.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I also know like Jake, my partner, straight up introvert.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, so it's great for you because you know how to work with both.
Oh yeah, I think so.
It's actually really great. So I used to think that don't laugh. I used to think that there was a part of me that was an introvert and I realized that it wasn't that. It was actually that it was a fear of judgment.
Yeah.
So I would always be like, oh my God, this person's judging me. I want to go home.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to just being surrounded by an energy that I can't, and I say the word energy a lot, but I mean it. Like it's a feeling that I feel it when I'm in an uncomfortable situation. And then I'm like, I can't do this. I need to check out.
Yeah.
And that's all it is for me.
That's
I just
fair.
need to check out.
Yeah.
I need to
That is
run
very
away.
fair.
But what about you? Ambivalent.
Ambivent. Yeah, that is me. And you know, there's times where I felt like I was way more introverted than I am, and oftentimes that's because I'm depressed. And there's times where I feel like I was way more extroverted than I am, and it's oftentimes because I'm putting pressure on myself to do more, to try and get somewhere, and then I have to kind of balance myself out and go to the middle. My whole life theme is balance. I mean, it's a human theme, but
Yeah. How are you doing
I'm
post
okay.
wedding?
I'm good. It was a hectic week, but really
was.
fun things.
Okay, good.
I was a little stressy about like our footage and organizing it and getting everything set up for this week. But Natasha and I decided to skip the week of the holiday, since viewership is usually lower, and we want to encourage all of you to like go hang out with your friends and family and not be on your devices. And so that helps me a lot as well, because I've just been in overload at the end of the year. Like my role at Sephora, like a lot of last minute interviews come through, and they're usually like really good ones that you don't want to miss out on. And so like this week I had like 2 or 3 to get done, and it's just a lot of juggling and like that kind of like senioritis feeling where it's almost break, you're like almost there. But I've realized that pretty much between like September to the end of the year, my my life is just really busy.
Yeah.
Like those are my busy
And May
months.
is your busy month.
Yeah. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's Hispanic Heritage Month. So there's a lot of like people who will ping me for things, but I'm feeling good. I've been spiraling a lot lately. I've definitely been struggling with my THC use. I spoke to a doctor this morning who I really like, and she seems to really get it, and she wants to keep seeing me, and I am really going to try and completely stop.
Okay.
I think I'm finally accepting that it is an addiction for me.
Okay.
I want to build a healthy relationship with it. I don't really drink anymore, and I don't do other things because my mental health and my nervous system doesn't allow for it anymore. And so I would love to have something that can disembody a little bit and like have some fun with. I don't want to like never use weed again. And like it's actually a really emotional substance for me because when my mental health was the worst, when I had my chronic nausea, like it's the thing that helped me. When my mom had cancer, it was the thing that helped her, and I got to make her a milkshake, and it was the best day of my life because she actually could drink it. So like, I love weed, and I am such an advocate for the use of it. I just don't think that there's enough information out there about it because it hasn't been regulated. And so yeah, it's just a complex subject. But when I tell myself I want to do something and then I feel like I can't do it, like that's disempowering. And so I want to take the power back.
Okay.
And so I really want to try to stop for a while and then
You've got
reestablish
this.
a healthy relationship. But it's hard because it's what I'm used to. But
Yeah.
I have help. I have resources. Knowledge is power. So I'll figure it out. And I have support. I know.
You have all the support. I
Love
hope you know this.
Thank you.
You've got this.
But yes, let us know what you think about this episode. Let me know if you have any advice on everything else that we shared. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.